Wow, I'm really enjoying this video game with my Steam Deck trademark. It's time for me to give it a rest. Let me go ahead and set it in the dock. Oh no, where's the dock? Oh no, it got delayed. What am I supposed to do? We can build one. Welcome to Mike Techs It Out. I'm Mike, and this is Building the Dock Part 1. This was originally going to be one video, but with 3D printing, sometimes you start stuff 2 days in advance and then it's still printing. And then you make the mistake of printing it in the same room that you work and record videos in. So not only can you not record videos in that room, but also when you work, you hear this for 9 hours. So the 3D print part is not done. That's gonna be part 2 that's coming next week. Part 1, I wanna focus on the hardware that's gonna go into this dock, and actually where I got this idea from back in June. It was reported by Tech Radar that a Reddit user by the name Hanover2K made their own Steam Deck dock, and I reported on it because I thought it looked awesome. I thought it looked better than the official dock, and I was like, for sure I'm gonna make this when this comes out. So at the time of that story, they hadn't posted the .stl files yet, and I kind of forgot about it until last week. I was sitting there and I was like, oh yeah, I wonder if Hanover2K ever posted those files. So I went back to the thread and sure enough, they posted the files and I was like, let's go ahead and get this started. So of course there's a 3D print portion of it, but they actually list all of the hardware that they used. For one, they use these M2x8 screws, which are just standard screws. You can buy the ones they listed on Amazon. You could probably go to Home Depot or somewhere else to find them as well. There's an L-shaped adapter, which of course is optional, but it just makes it a little bit nicer when you plug the cord into the Steam Deck because, you know, it sends it around the back of it. It's not in the way. And then there's the actual dock itself, which is a Docktek dock. And I've never heard of this brand before, to be honest, but I wanted to follow the instructions exactly as Hanover2K presented them. And also I didn't feel like trying to tweak the design for a different dock myself because I'm gonna be honest, I'm not a very good 3D designer. So I ordered all that from Amazon. The dock and the L connector are already here. So let's have a look at those really quick. The L connector is pretty cheap. I got the 2-pack. I actually didn't get the 2-pack that was linked. I bought another one because it got here faster. So it comes with this L-shaped adapter and also comes with a different adapter that I'll probably use for a PC. The adapter is actually pretty nice. The connection is pretty firm in both the Steam Deck and in the part where the cable plugs into. So the build quality is pretty good on that. The Docktek dock is surprisingly nice. It felt pretty sturdy. Of course, it is plastic, but it didn't feel like cheap plastic. And as far as ports, we have 2 USB-A's and HDMI that does up to 4K 60. We have an Ethernet port, an SD card, and a micro SD card slot. And then of course we have the power pass through. This actually has like a pretty nice quality travel pouch that came with it if you're not planning on using it in a 3D printed contraption like I am. So overall, this seems like a pretty decent deal. This dock seems to be around $35 to $40. I believe it was $42.99 at the time that I bought it, and then it had a $5 off coupon, so it ended up being around $38. And it's not really a bad price for this. The only knock I have for it is the built-in cable because that can be a point of failure, but that's not really a knock on this specific dock. That's kind of every dock in this price range is gonna pretty much have a built-in cable, so I can't really knock Docktek for that. So with that out of the box, I was kind of curious if the included charger for the Steam Deck would be enough to drive this and keep the Steam Deck charged while playing games. So I went ahead and loaded this up. I connected a 1080p 144Hz monitor over HDMI. I filled the 2 USB-A ports. One, I filled it with the mouse and keyboard combo that I use for my GPD Win 3. And then also I put an external drive that's USB powered. And then of course we put Ethernet in there. The only thing that wasn't popular on the dock were the micro SD and SD card slots. The reason I wanted to test this was because I've had laptops where sometimes when you plug in a dock, it consumes so much power that under load, it doesn't actually keep the laptop charged. The battery will drain. It just won't drain as fast as when it's completely unplugged. And then maybe it'll start charging again once it's not under load. So I just wanted to verify that the Steam Deck charger would be good enough for this for anybody who was looking to do this themselves. So I picked God of War because I wanted to play something intensive, and I know God of War typically will drain the battery on the Steam Deck in about an hour or so, usually about an hour and 15 minutes. I just want to point out this is the first time that I've ever hooked the Steam Deck up to a monitor. While this was running at 720p, it was still super sharp. Like really, this is still a good experience even hooked up to a monitor. and being upscaled to 1080p. Like, I was super impressed by it, especially with something that's just using its internal graphics. But with that out of the way, I played God of War for about 35 minutes. I also had a Bluetooth controller synced up to this as well. So we were just pushing this thing to the max. Bluetooth, everything going on. And I'm glad to say that it was able to maintain the battery the whole time. So overall, I really like this dock. Typically, I usually buy Anker products because I'm already familiar with that brand, but this is a pretty cool dock. And like I said, I was being lazy and I didn't feel like having to redo the 3D print. So yeah, if you're looking for a dock, even if you don't want to do the 3D print one, this seems like a good option, especially for the price. And with that being said, I'll be back next Thursday to talk about the 3D printing process, and we'll hopefully have the finished dock by then. I think it only has like 15 more hours left, so it should definitely be finished by next week. But until then, if you enjoyed this video, then make sure to tell a friend, tell a coworker, like, share, and subscribe, and hit the bell notification to get notified when I drop a video, and always do at least 2 things at the same time. Peace.